Over the last 20 years, the number of wolves in Europe has grown significantly. In many countries, this has created new challenges for farmers, wildlife managers, and rural communities. Germany is one of the clearest examples. Today, the official number of wolves there is around 2,000. At the same time, another important trend is happening across Europe. The number of hunters is increasing in some countries. More people are choosing to become hunters and take part in wildlife management. In this episode, we talk about both topics, wolves and the growing number of hunters. And we explain why modern hunting is not an outdated tradition, but a necessary and active part of nature management today. Today we are on our FACE podcast with the hunters with Helmut Dammann-Tamke, who's FACE vice president and also the president of German Hunting Association. Hello, Helmut. Nice to have you.
Hello, Linda. Thank you for the invitation.
There are some very important subjects we have to discuss. First is the fact that Germany is a very good example concerning the number of hunters that have been increasing over the last years. And the second subject is about wolf population in Germany, possible management solutions, possible risks. But first of all, could you tell us a bit about yourself? What do you do? How long do you hunt?
Yeah.
What's your favorite hunt?
Okay. My name is Helmut Dammann-Tamke. I'm born in the neighborhood of Hamburg in a small village. My father was a farmer, and I've been a farmer as well. Now I retired. During the last 20 years, I was member of the parliament of the federal state of Lower Saxony. Especially responsible for agriculture and also forest and hunting. I grew up with hunting. I passed my hunting license when I was 16 years old. That's the earliest possibility in Germany when you're 16 years old. By now I'm 64, so I've nearly 50 years of experience with hunting. I'm coming from an area where small game is the most popular hunt, but I have to admit that during the last 20 years, the wild boar and the fallow deer is also game animals that have taken place in my hunting region. And in 2008, I was elected to become the president of the Hunting Association of Lower Saxony, which has by now more than 60,000 members. And the Deutscher Jagdverband is a roof association. It has 15 members, 15 federal states. And since nearly 2.5 years by now, I'm the president of the Deutscher Jagdverband, which represents 260,000 hunters of Germany. The Bavarian left this roof association in 2010, so there are about 45,000 organized hunters in Bavaria. So you can say 300,000 of 460,000 people who owns a hunting license, 300,000 are organized. So roughly 75%.
So could you give a quick overview of the hunting system in Germany so we have the background and understanding what we are talking about?
Yeah. What is important in Germany, the right to hunt is fixed to the ground, to the owner of the land.
Okay.
And if you have at least 75 hectares in your ownership, you have your own hunt. If you haven't 75 hectares together, your forest or your fields or your ownership goes into a corporation, and then you are hunting in a corporation. Most times, the corporation area is the same area of the village. You can say roughly these corporations are between 800 to 1,200 hectares. And then you rent the right to hunt there from the corporation, which is in the responsibility of the farmers and the owners of the forest and so on. And as the right to hunt is fixed to the ground, we have a great advantage in Germany. One advantage is that the ownership is protected in our constitution. And the other advantage is that most times the hunters who live in a village also hunt in the corporation of this village. So there's a close partnership between the farmers and forest owners and the hunters, because sometimes they know each other since decades, or they grow up together since they were children. So there's a great trustment in each other's. There's no friendship between those. And I think that's one of the most important advantages the German hunting system has. That you know the people who are hunting on your ground.
But still, despite the fact that Germany is quite densely populated, because when you travel in Germany, it's one village, another village, Autobahn, another village. There is still place for hunting today, obviously.
Of course, there is. The harvest report of FAZE showed that most roe deer in Europe are hunted in Germany. In Germany, we shoot more roe deer than the second, third, fourth, and fifth position together, which means I think it's Austria, I think it's Great Britain, it's Poland and Ukraine. So we have a lot of roe deer. Red deer is just in some special areas where we have bigger forest areas. Fallow deer is not all over Germany, but where we have it, there's a lot of fallow deer and in increasing number. And what is increasing all over Germany is the wild boar. Since 3 or 4 decades, the wild boar is coming up in Germany, all over Germany, even if in the areas where there's nearly no forest at the coast and so on. And small game, the most important areas for small game is in the north and northwest of Germany. So that's, you can say, roughly between the Danish border down to the Dutch border, this northwest area. There, small game has a big is a big thing. In the other areas of Germany, you can say wild boar and roe deer, red deer, fallow deer are the most important animals to hunt.
There are opinions among anti-hunters in a way that nowadays hunting is like archaic old thing that has no relevance today. But what we see from Germany's example, hunting is relevant and people are actually interested in becoming hunters. Can you elaborate a bit on this point of view?
Yeah. In Germany, concerning the attitude of our society concerning hunting has changed during the last decades. You can say in the late 80s, early 90s, we the hunters were in a very defensive position. But nowadays, hunting has a good attitude. There's a good the society is pro-hunting, you can say, and there's no strategy behind this because, for example, with the 460,000 hunters in Germany, that's nearly more than half of the amount we had 30 years ago. So there's a continuous increase of the numbers of hunters in Germany. And there are several reasons why we have this development. There's no strategy behind it, as I told you, but
You mean it just happened?
yeah, it just happened. But maybe if there is a strategy, you can say we looked what are the critical points concerning the society if they look at the hunters. To be honest, the, in the past, in the present, and in future time, hunting will mean to kill animals. That is something we can't discuss away. But for example, in the late 80s, early 90s, all the hunting associations changed to a recognized nature protection association. So the people in Germany know hunters are not just a group who kills animal. They are doing a lot to have better standards and better nature. And that's, you can say, because of this, now 30, 40 years ago, we bring in the harvest of this development of the late 80s, early 90s. We are a recognized nature protection association. That's one point. Another point is we have many associations who are doing a very good monitoring. For example, Lower Saxony does a monitoring, especially for small games, nearly for 35 years by now. And there's no other association, no other nature protection association who has a number or dates who you can compare with the dates of the hunting association. So even for scientists, we are good partners because we have excellent dates. We also do this monitoring for the wolf, for example, since 2012 by now. And another reason why we have this positive development of the number of hunters in Germany, and I think it's one of the most important thing. 30 years ago, when I started to hunt with my wife, there were elder hunters who said, well, a woman on the hunt, that's very special. We never had it so far. Today, it's absolutely normal that we have women when there's a hunt. And 28% of the people who pass their hunting license in Germany now, today, 28% are women. And if you open your patient the hunt for 50% of the society, because 50% of the society are women, if you open it for this half of the society, that's quite normal that you get a good development to get more hunters. And there's another effect which also is coming with this development, because in Germany there is the thinking of, or there has been the thinking, let me say, there has been the thinking, hunting is a passion of old men like me with gray hair, with a cigar in their mouths, wearing green clothes, and talking about hunt and joking, and that's not nothing for women. And that we destroyed this thinking, this, yeah, I don't find the English word at the moment, that we destroyed this attitude and that we open hunting.
You mean like a stereotype or?
Yeah, stereotype. Yeah, that we destroyed this stereotype. And what is more, the women who pass the hunting license are even younger than the men. In average, they are 2 years younger than the men that pass the hunting license. So you can say in Germany, we are getting more hunters in the average during the last 5 years. In the average, we got 1 year younger during the last 5 years. In the average, the German hunters became 5 years younger, and they became more female. So all these 3 points are good points if you have the responsibility to fight for the interests of the German hunters.
What are the reasons they are becoming hunters, do you think? Because compared to other countries, in Germany, it is not that easy to become a hunter. We have in Latvia like 40 hours of courses and 2 exams. You have, I think, to study at least a year. It's not easy and it's not very cheap to become a hunter, but still people want to do it. It's
Yeah.
because it's such a great hobby or it's a way of life, or what are the reasons?
Yeah. First of all, to get a hunting license in Germany, you have to calculate between, I would say, 2,500 and 3,500 euros. And it's very regulated. You also have to pass a shooting examination, which is not easy. And about 20% of the people who try to get to pass the examination fail. So it's quite hard. And you can do it in about 2 or 3 weeks, but then you do nothing else from 8 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock in the evening during 3 weeks to be uh, to get this training. And yes, in Germany, it's hard to get a hunting license. We made a survey in Germany asking our hunting students. That was an amount of nearly 19,000, and 6,000 answered, participated in this survey and answered. And I can tell you what they answered, what was the reason for them to pass a hunting license. 77% of them said, I like being in the great outdoors. The
Hmm.
second reason was 54 percentage. For me, hunting is applied nature conservation. 47 percentage of them said, I enjoy eating game meat. 50 percentage said, I take joy in hunting, and then it goes down. So uh, to be out in nature, to do actively something for nature protection, and game meat. Those are the most important things for people to become a hunter. And what is interesting for us in Germany, that more and more people from urban areas, we have by now a percentage of 23% of the people who pass a hunting license come from urban societies. So they have no contact in their family or with friends to hunting. They just said, hunting, for me, hunting is an interesting thing, and I will try to get the hunting license.
So what I hear you say is that hunters, because it is so difficult to become a hunter, well, are basically educated nature protection conservationists because they have the knowledge, they have the understanding, and maybe that is why the society and government take them so seriously into consideration.
Yes. For example, there are big associated nature protection association in Germany like WWF or the BUND or NABU. There you can become a member just by paying your yearly fee. If you want to become a hunter, you have to pass a license and you are taught and or trained in nature things and you're well educated. So the politicians who have no negative thinking about hunters, they accept that hunters are good volunteers to improve the situation in our nature and to help the state to get things better. And one very important thing which you don't forget, in Germany, the Green Party is quite strong, the Green ones. I would say that is more or less in the European states, but in Germany, they are quite strong. And we have a tough political discussion about climate change. And if there is one tool to fight against the climate change, then it is the challenge to have a good and a healthy forest in future time. And the specialists, the scientists for forests say we need a mixture, a wide mixture in our forest concerning the trees. And as we, the hunters, know, there are red deers, roe deers, fallow deers who like to eat special young trees. So everyone knows if we want to be successful in having a stable forest in 80 or 100 years, we have to act now. And to act now means to look after the amount of deers in our forests. So even the hardliner in the Green Party have to accept that we need hunting in Germany to regulate the amount of deers to get a good and healthy forest in future time. That's a very important thing. In the Green Party, there are parts of the party uh, who do not agree that we are allowed to kill animals. They are in the animal protection edge, you can say. But what they have to admit that we have to regulate the deer population, otherwise we will fail in this challenge to get a stable, healthy wood. So that's a hard discussion for them, but we have the better arguments.
Yeah, it's always important to have a balance, to have animals in the forest and to have trees at the same time. It's
Yeah,
not a very easy task
yeah,
because if you make a mistake, it can turn either way.
that's right. Yeah.
I was just wondering if you have the increase in numbers of hunters, especially young hunters, and if they are not connected to some hunter family or hunting friends, how do they find the possibility to hunt? Because in
Mhm.
Latvia, it is a big problem.
Mhm.
There, hunting communities are very closed and they
Mhm. Yeah.
do not want to take in people who are not checked in a way because you hunt together with weapons. It's a rather serious thing. So, how do the hunters in Germany find possibilities to hunt?
Yeah, that's a good question, Linda, and it's a real challenge in our system when the hunt is practiced by the people from the village. It's no question that everyone of the village should get a part of the hunting community in this village. But if they come from big cities like Hamburg, Düsseldorf, Munich, or whatever, it's much harder. What we propose these people is to try to get into groups. For example, groups who have good dogs like you, Deutschstrater, to get into a breeding group of Deutschstrater, to train your dog. And if you have a good dog, and people know you have a good dog, then the invitation will come natural, or just like this. Other possibility is to go into a group who plays the Jagdhorn, our traditional music, hunting music. Other possibility is to get a member of a group who searches for the young kids, the young deers with the drones when the harvest goes on. So these people have to act to become members of a group. And by becoming a member of a group, getting the network to get the chance to hunt.
So you
They
have to
also
be.
have the chance to write the official forest organization of our state, and a number of them gets the opportunity to hunt in the state forest. But with these increasing numbers of hunters in Germany, even our state authorities can't give hunting possibilities to everyone. So what I would propose the people from the urban areas get into a network and start to get to become a member of a network.
Yeah, I think it can be a challenge in different countries. For example, we just are having a laugh that in Latvia, if you want to get into a hunting club, you have to either to marry a daughter of the leader of the hunting club or get into the family if you do not have the family. But that, yeah, that works. To be active, to be ready to work, to have a dog, that's the
Yeah, to have special offers, what you can bring in. Just to say, here I am, my name is Hans or Eric, and now I'm waiting for an invitation. That doesn't work.
exactly. Those people who want to become hunters, where do you think they find information about hunting? They have to learn from something that hunting is great. Where do you think they get that kind of information? That's from your associations, or there are influencers, or do you have any idea?
I would say to get informations by a homepage or by letters from the organization to get practical advices and for hunting, that's very difficult because our hunting associations are firstly responsible for the political and representation
No, Helmut, I think in general,
in
like
general. Yeah, in
like
general.
you're sitting at home thinking, what
Yeah,
can I do differently?
yeah.
Where do they find information to want to become a hunter? That was my question.
Also, yeah, Linda, the last thing why we have this good development, but I think it's also an argument for all European states, is of course social media. Social media opened the hunting world, or opens the hunting world for everyone. And social media, in my eyes, is so important because, as I already told you, I've been in politics for 20 years. And I always say we have to declare the people outside of our hunting bubble what we are doing, how we are doing it, and why we are doing it. And if we answer these three questions, how, what, and why, then we have the chance that they understand it. And to understand it is the basic to accept it. So that's why social media are so important, and that's why social media have such a big chance for us to tell people what we are doing and that hunting is a good thing. But we have to be careful with social media because
The jungle. It's a
uh,
jungle.
videos about live killing of an animal, 98% of the society, of the people outside of our bubble, if they see such scenes, they say, why does this harmless animal has to die now? So social media has big chances, but it also may be a trap. So be carefully by using social media.
But it looks like in Germany it's working, because then people find out about hunting, they think it's interesting, it's beneficial, it's good for them. So it means that good information is about hunting is more prevalent in your social media rather than other kind of information.
Yeah, and what is more, and what really works very well in Germany is that especially these young women who pass their hunting license and who are active on social media, hunt influencer, that they present in reels how they prepare game meat in the kitchen, and that's very special, and that's uh, they have a very good followingship, because in Germany the meat produced by farmers. I myself, I'm a farmer, but everyone knows that people think the production of meat in the big farms is industry. So we have a thinking in the young generation, it's better to eat less meat, but when you eat meat, you should be very carefully about the ethics. And there's no better meat concerning ethics than game meat. So also this point is good for us, and it's good for this development of an increasing number of hunters.
Yeah. What I hear is that we have different subjects people are interested in to become hunters, and obviously it's not just a thing that happened in a week or in a month. It has taken decades of pushing some kind of a narrative that people have found interesting, despite the fact that in Germany to become a hunter is quite expensive, it's time consuming. Maybe people think that it's kind of prestigious in a way to be a hunter, to be able to get yourself your meat, or it's not that way.
The cost concerning prestige, that's in my eyes, that's in declining number. Uh,
No, what I mean is
hunting
like to be
hunting
proud
is
to be a hunter, for example, that from that perspective, that I am proud to be a hunter and I can tell it to my friends from that perspective.
yeah. Linda, I would say, and I already mentioned it, but I don't know whether my English words are so clear. Look at the discussion in your society, in your European state, and try to get the advantages of this discussion for hunting. No? Also, if there's any development, a political debate, like I mentioned, the future of our forest, then getting at the top of the discussion and say, well, what we all want, have good, healthy forests, stable forests in 80 or 100 years. If we all agree that we need that, then you should agree that we need a good hunting. Otherwise, we won't reach that uh, uh,
The
that
objective, you
situation.
mean?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not easy for us because English is our second language, not the
yeah, that's
primary.
that's right. And I think many of the people who look at this video, for them, English is also a foreign language, but we will give our best.
Exactly. Okay, next subject, quite important. Recently, your hunting association published a small article on your homepage about the number of wolves according to the Federal Documentation and Advisory Center for Wolves, according to their numbers, there are around 1,600 wolves living in Germany. But your association assumes that the number is much, much higher. I think that is the case in basically every country where officially the numbers are always lower, but what hunters are saying, hunters' estimates are much higher. In Germany, for the last few decades, the number of wolves have increased, which means that the conservation efforts have been successful. But what do we do now?
Yeah,
Like we are at the point, obviously, across Europe that we have to start considering how do we live with good wolf populations. And I think in many narratives on this subject, this is actually lacking. Okay, we have wolves that have come back successfully, but what do we do next?
yeah. Yeah, as you mentioned, the development in Germany was really fast. We had the first pack after more than 100 years in the year of 2000 in the southeast of Germany. First pack, year of 20,000. 10 years later, we had six packs all over Germany. And now, 15 years later, we have nearly 240 packs. So the wolf doesn't need the big dark forests. He is quite well with even in this Federal Republic of Germany, as you mentioned, where we have such a high amount of highways, of villages, of cities, uh, the wolf has no problems for the resettlement of the German area. Concerning the amount of wolves, as I already mentioned, in the federal state of Lower Saxony, we, the Hunting Association, made a contract with our Ministry for Environment, and since the 1st January, the 1st of 2012, so by now 13 and a half years, we, the hunters, do the monitoring. So if someone in the federal state of Lower Saxony tells me, the president, well, the numbers of the wolves is much higher in Lower Saxony, I just can answer him, well, if you are so sure, then obviously some of our hunters doesn't are not giving the numbers in our monitoring system because it's our system. But all over Germany, you're right. We think that we have much more. In the moment, we have roughly 240 packs. If we say 8 or 10 wolves per pack, then we are at the amount at least 2,000 wolves in Germany, at least 2,000, probably much more. And it was a hard fight that politics started to act in Germany. We had the good success supported by FARZE that the Berner Convention, the status of high protection, the went down. We had this with the European decisions concerning the FFH, FFH-Richtlinie, which I think you have the right English word, FFH-Richtlinie, the downgrade concerning the
Oh,
annex
yeah,
of,
the downgrade of the species status,
yeah,
the
yeah.
protection
So
status.
we had these international success, and now we have the debate in the German government in the Parliament of Berlin, what we shall do now. And just in this week, we have a proposal of the the Ministry for Environment and for for agriculture and hunting, because as long as the wolf is protected by our national law for protection of nature, and it's still in there, as long as this is the fact, both ministers are responsible, agriculture and environment. But the proposal is quite clear. The proposal says we want to take the wolf into the frame of the law, the hunting law, to get it completely out of the frame of the law for nature protection. And that is the most important thing to start to manage the wolf population in Germany. Because as long as the wolf is in parts protected by the frame of the nature protection law, people can go to the court and try to stop shooting, to try to stop hunt the wolf. And that's why we have these hard discussions in the moment. But as we have a new government since 3/4 of a year, and in their contract, this government wrote down that they want to take the wolf in the hunting frame, and we are quite hopeful that we will start to hunt the wolf in the year of 2026 in Germany.
Like like huntable species or under some management plan. For
Huntables.
what we like
Yeah.
what we have for several species here, we called it the lethal scaring away of the animal.
Yeah. No, the wolf as a hunting species, and where we are very careful in the law for hunting, no exceptions for the wolf. To treat the wolf like any other species that is in the hunting law. And if you ask how we propose it, and we are quite we agree with the Farmer Association. Our proposal is shooting 40% of the young wolves from June up to the 31st of October, because in this period you can be sure that you have a young wolf, and to shoot 40% of these young wolves. That's the one line we want to hunt the wolves. And on the other line, we say, if we have a pack or a group of wolves or a single wolf who makes damage with our farm animals, then we are allowed to act 365 days per year by regarding the situation if there's a mother or a father wolf. So that means if we know it's a single wolf, we can react as soon as possible, even if it's just a group, not a pack. And if it's a pack, we have to be careful. You can say from the middle of April to the end of August, then we have to be sure that we do not shoot the mother or the father of the pack. But we have to react immediately if there's serious damage in the farm animals.
It says in on your webpage that in 2023, nearly 5,800 sheep, goats, cows, and even horses have been killed or injured by wolves. That's quite a large number. I think that's just official data, because
That's
it could be much higher, because not always these cases are reported, because
yeah,
people usually don't see the point in
yeah. You're right,
making.
Linda. You're right. These are is the official amount, and many people do not declare if there's a damage, because if they are not a professional farmer or a professional shepherd, then they have no chance to get money from the state. And why they should say that there's damage if they know that they have no chance. And the other thing is the people who are working against wolf hunt, they try to, yeah, as we say in German, they make the victim to the guy who's responsible. I want to try to declare it. They say in social media, "Oh, you got damage. You feel sorrow because your sheep have been killed. Don't you know that you're responsible for your sheep? Why didn't you build a good fence? If you had done so, and if you had built a fence, the wolf wouldn't have the chance to attack your sheep. And as the wolf did it, I tell you, you are responsible for your dead sheep because you didn't protect them as you should do. And if people make this experience that they, as a victim, are turned to the people or to the guy who's responsible, next time they say, I will never declare damage again because I don't want to have this debate once again.
Yeah, that's very true. Even concerning wolves that kill dogs, for example, in Finland this year, it's absolutely terrible because they've reported on 28 dogs killed already by wolves, officially reported. And usually the anti-hunting people say, oh, we just have to check the statistics and see when like see the situations when it's happening. But for people whose dog has been killed by wolf, and that usually doesn't look nice because wolves rip the dogs to pieces, it's not just a line in statistics, it's actually a tragedy in a
Mm.
family.
Mm.
And if something like that happens to a hunter's dog, would they ever want to coexist with the wolves in the future? It's the attitude is quite disrespectful towards people who have lost their animals. Usually, they also say that, for example, you can ask for a compensation for sheep, but people are not keeping sheep to get the compensation.
Yeah, that's right.
And concerning the fence, I think you showed me a video where the wolf was jumping over. It was meter 35 centimeters fence or something like that.
It was 1 meter 45.
Can you send, do you have still that video? Can you send it once more to me or it's somewhere disappeared?
I still have it. I can send it to you once again. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be perfect. We could show it here. So it's like it depends really on the situation. And why do you think people are so afraid of managing wolves, of shooting, killing wolves? Because we see in many countries it's one of the best solutions to have animals protected and hunt or manage wolf populations to a sustainable certain way. Otherwise, your countryside just would look like one big fenced area with fences
Yeah,
every.
yeah, 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 that's right. As we all know, the debate concerning wolf is very emotional, very emotional. I think it's all over Europe, it's the same thing. I think in the base, the people who are so extremely pro-wolf, they make one vote. And the vote is they think by returning of the wolf, the landscape will become a nature area again. And that won't happen, especially in Germany. As you already told, Germany is a very industry uh, influenced country. That's a culture country. Every square meter in Germany is cultivated. And you may have as many wolves as you want. Germany won't become a nature area again. We have nature protection areas, but all over Germany, the return of the wolf won't change the landscape. So that's the basically thinking where there's the fault of these people. And the other fault is that, yeah, Linda, you're right. To lose a dog, it's a tragedy for the whole family in the ownership. In Germany, the loss of a dog so far, there are just a very few cases because we have another hunting system. Our dogs, most times our dog hunt in the groups of the driven hunts and so on. So they are not so on their own, not so alone. So I just know a very few cases where dogs were killed by wolves in Germany. But these people who are pro-wolf, they always give a name to the wolf, so that the wolf is has a kind of human being. And if this wolf is shot, it's not just shot by hunters, it's murdered by hunters, because it has a name. So it's a very emotional debate. And to be honest, I propose the hunters in Germany, if we start to hunt wolves and you are the one who shoots a wolf, then don't tell anyone. Because the first people and hunters in Germany where these groups get the information that this guy or this woman has shot a wolf, they will try to uh, give uh, many trouble.
Attack on social media
Yeah, and not only social media, they will visit them
at home.
spraying color at the houses and so on, and destroying destroying their ground and destroying the towers they have in their hunting areas, and to put many damage to this person. So anyone who's clever shouldn't tell that he shot a wolf. I think it will take for 5 or 6 years until the German society accept that it's normal that the wolf population is managed and that wolves are killed by hunt in Germany. But it will take some years.
Yeah, but dogs also have names, you know.
Don't tell me, we've got dogs
That
as well. And
it's not even funny. It's sad that for them a dog is a line in statistics, but
yeah.
but wolves are something special. By the way, there is a very interesting research done that says that uh, like in your country in Germany with high numbers of, for example, red deer, if wolf appears, it actually causes much more problems, much more damages, not the other way around, because with the um, presence of a large carnivore, the groups of deer would try to eat as fast as possible and to get as many calories as possible in a very short time, and they do it in big groups. So
Mm.
basically, the presence of wolf basically changes the behavior of deer, for example, and there are more damages. So it's not working the other way around. It's actually working differently. What the people usually think, that if there will be wolves, then they will eat all the deer and there will be no problems.
Yeah,
It's not working like that. That's
that's
interesting.
right. But to be clear, we have in the group of the parts of the society that are acting for the protection of animals, I would say 95% of these people are quite clear, and you can discuss with them, and they will accept arguments. But 5% of this group, they are not just fighting for the protection of animals, they are fighting for animal rights. And their thinking is that human being hasn't the right to use an animal. You haven't the right to use your Deutsch Strata because you didn't discuss with it whether this dog accept that it's living under your order. A farmer hasn't the right to take milk from the cow because the milk is for the calf, but not for human beings. We don't have to discuss about meat. We don't have to discuss about fishing. We don't have to discuss concerning using a horse for sports or whatever. These 5% of the group of people who are fighting for the right of animals doesn't accept that human being uses animals. And with these people, no chance to discuss whether we should manage the wolf population, even if the victims of the wolves, the sheep, and so on, many of these more than 5,000 animals that were killed or wounded in Germany in 2023 suffered a lot and had pain and wasn't killed immediately. And that's for them, that's nature. That's the animals have to discuss that on their own.
Oh, my Deutsch Drahthaar, he agrees with me that we go hunting 100%. He doesn't want to do anything else, basically. But anyway, thank you very much for this discussion. We see that there are many things we can learn from Germany, especially concerning number of hunters. It means that you have been doing something right, because even in many countries we have good acceptance of hunting, but the numbers of hunters are going down. But in Germany, obviously, you have created this idea that hunting is really great thing to do for conservation, for yourself, to be outdoors. And that all together, we also see that your wolf populations are very happy. Now we just have to learn how to manage them properly. So we have dogs, sheep, cows, horses, deer in the forest, and management doesn't mean killing all the wolves. Management means scientifically based approach where there are wolves and there are sheep at the same time.
Yeah, that's right. And besides the wolf, we have the invasive species like raccoon and the nutria. I don't know whether nutria is the right word in English.
Yeah, it's nutria, is a nutria, yeah.
Yeah, and these species are responsible for large damage. And what is very interesting in Germany, to say it to the end, even the official authorities for nature protection ask us, the hunters, to give support to manage the amount of raccoons or fox and other predators, because they see that very rare species, especially birds, won't have a future if we do not regulate the large amount of predators we have. And the invasive species like raccoon, for example, are a good example that if we want to save these species which are in a bad attitude, hunters are needed. And to tell you, 20 or 30 years ago, I couldn't even imagine that an official nature authority would ask for this support by hunters. Because at those times, we were the animals, the enemies for them, because we regulated, we managed, and we thought, or we told them that we can manage it, and they didn't want to accept it. They didn't want to hear it. And now we have the opposite. They ask us, give us support. Otherwise, we will lose this species.
Just a funny story to end is that we had the first official raccoon caught in Latvia. One hunter saw it, put out a trap, caught it, eliminated the invasive species, and the opinion of the other side was that this raccoon should have been sterilized and let loose again in the nature.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that it just still keeps eating anyway.
Yeah, it's stupid.
So
Yeah.
thank you very much, Helmut, for this discussion. I think
Yeah.
there are many subjects we can touch upon still, what's happening in Germany, but I think this was, for me, it was a very interesting conversation.
Yeah. Linda, it was a pleasure, and I tried to find that special video for you concerning the wolf who jumped over the fence. I will give my best, but I think I will find it and send it to you.
So if you like this episode, you can subscribe, follow, share with your friends on your social media so more people learn what is hunting and how it actually works. So thank you very much, Helmut.
A pleasure. Bye bye, Linda.